S-rank adventurers are those who possess overwhelming strength and power. They also have the innate ability to lead people and change the world. One such adventurer is Egil. He is one of those people who can command others. A servant auction is taking place in the town of Krishna. People are all dressed up, eager to get some new servants. They sure spend a lot on them. One man just spent 420,000 gold for a servant. Gessendorf asks Egil for his opinion on serfdom. It's safe to say that Egil isn't a fan. The adventurer is not too fond of the concept, which is why it endlessly annoys him when Gessendorf drags him to auctions. Auctioning people's lives, like they are mere objects, disgusts him. His companion points out that he needs servants, too. They can take care of housework while he's out doing quests. Speaking of quests, Gessendorf heard he made another amazing feat recently. Egil took up a quest so difficult that the mere mention of it terrified guild adventurers. The quest giver himself has considered giving up on it, but he completed it all on his own like a true S-rank adventurer. And the quest Gessendorf is talking about: taking down a giant monster in a deserted castle. Our hero made it look so easy, he just slashed the monster in half. But flattery won't work on Egil. Unlike those participating in the auction, he doesn't consider people as tools. Gessendorf knows he'd say that, so he goes for another angle. Won't Egil like to have a beautiful woman who will listen to his every word? Nah, Egil still isn't interested. And now, he's so bored that he's yawning. Can they just leave? This has our judgmental Lil Gessendorf thinking that Egil bats for the other team. But he doesn't swing that way, dude. As they talk, the last servant being auctioned is introduced. All the men are captivated by this girl. She's 20 years old and has an incredibly beautiful face. Her assets are generous, to say the least. She's also a former adventurer and is still untouched. Even though he has said he's not interested, Egil is enchanted by this girl. And it looks like the feeling's mutual, judging by the girl's reaction when she sees him. The bidding begins at 6 million gold. That's a huge amount. The bids grow and grow until Egil participates. He puts 10 million gold on the line. Dude, what happened to not wanting servants? To say that everyone in the room is surprised is an understatement. Some of the men there think he'll break her if she goes to him. Wow, the hypocrisy is insane. A daring soul, maybe trying to save the girl from the scary-looking Egil, gets over his shock quickly and challenges the adventurer's bid. He raises it to 11 million. It's futile because Egil instantly bids 13 million. Going once, going twice, sold. That's the highest bid this auction event has ever seen. Once outside the auction room, the girl, Eleanor, thanks Egil and introduces herself. He just asks her if she's sure about giving him a share of her bidding gold. Eleanor's sure, after all, she's his servant. What hers is his. But why did she sign a contract with the dealer to receive 20% of her bidding gold? She even threatened to off herself if he didn't agree to it. The thing is, Eleanor plans to run away with that money if she doesn't like her master. But that's a moot point now. She likes him. He seems strong. The fact that he's handsome helps, too. Egil doesn't know what to do with her compliment. Ooh, the brave and powerful adventurer is flustered. He thanks her but tells her flattery isn't necessary. She's not trying to flatter you, you dense man. Anyway, now that's out of the way, Eleanor has a favor to ask him. It may be bold of her, but she just has to. What is that favor? Egil's new servant wants him to kill her childhood friend. What? Eleanor explains that this friend tricked and sold her to a servant merchant. That was why she was being auctioned. So she wants revenge. How did that happen in the first place? Before she continues, she has to tell him her full name. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Eleanor Carl von Lund Cornelia. She's the third princess of Cornelia Kingdom. Again, what? How the heck did Eleanor end up being sold as a servant? The root cause is the Cornelia Kingdom's succession ceremony. Succession, great TV show and always a big problem in royalty. There were talks on who should take the throne. Since she has two older sisters, they decided that the husband of the first princess should do it. However, her dad, the king, declared that whoever marries her should be his successor. Eleanor, the smart girl she is, knew this would cause major issues, so she declined and vowed not to take part in the succession. Shortly after, she escaped and became an adventurer with her three closest friends. There were issues, but they overcame them all and created great memories. But then, everything changed when the Fire Nation, kidding, it changed during her birthday party. Her beloved friends put a blindfold on her. They were planning to give her the surprise of a lifetime. And give it they did. Just not the kind of surprise Eleanor had in mind. Instead of a nice necklace, they put a servant collar around her neck. Did her sisters bribe them? She tried asking them for answers and help when the merchant came to get her, but they just laughed. Poor Eleanor. Egil is angry. How dare her sisters to stoop so low and bribe her friends, and even turning her into a servant. But, let me just say, if they can be bribed, they aren't Eleanor's true friends in the first place. The princess can't possibly forgive all of them. She needs to take revenge. Everything they put her through by selling her haunts her. It's a miracle she's still alive. Every day she was at risk of being violated and hurt. She can't help but cry as she remembers the fear she lived with until Egil won the bid for her. The adventurer takes her into his arms. He'll help her, so she should stop crying. Upon reassuring her that he's all in, he finally tells her his name. Right at that moment, he vows never to let her be sad again. That night, Eleanor models her new clothes in front of her master for the nth time. He's already said she's pretty at least 10 times. How many more does she want? She just wants to thank her master for gifting her such nice clothes. Anyway, Egil proposes to remove her collar through the control device. Eleanor's surprised. Isn't he afraid that she'd run away? But the adventurer just drops some deep philosophical stuff. He'd rather believe in people than be suspicious of them all the time, even if he's betrayed after. Wow, how mature. The princess blushes at this and tells him there's no need to remove her collar. She trusts Egil. She'd do anything for him. As she professes her loyalty, she gets too close for comfort. Egil can feel her squishy melons in his chest. He rushes to stand and tells her to take a bath. Eleanor doesn't have it, though. It's unthinkable for a servant to bathe before her master. He should go first. In the bath, Egil ponders how he keeps panicking around Eleanor. An understandable reaction since he really hasn't been around women much. He gets the shock of his life when she appears. She's there to wash his back. When he insists that he can do it himself, she's dismayed. He's been treating her, a servant, so well, and she hasn't done anything to repay him. Are her charms not appealing to him? Your master finds you gorgeous, Eleanor. He just doesn't know how to talk to girls. The princess has no other place to call home but by his side. She wants to be with him always. She admits that she adores her master with all of her heart. Egil wants to know one thing. Is she sure she'll be happy with him? She's sure, and she'll even be happier if he can love her back. That makes him flustered. He won't let Eleanor take that back, even if she regrets it. One thing leads to another, and the two take turns getting physical. And with the way things are going, she can't believe he's still a cherry boy. Egil carries Eleanor into the bedroom. He's excited about what's to happen. He, an S-class adventurer, has done many S-rank quests and slain all kinds of creatures. But who would have thought that the prospect of gland-to-gland combat would trump all other combat for the man? But before they get into it, Egil asks about her time as an adventurer. Dude, what kind of pillow talk is this? He brought this up because her physique is pretty girly, but some places are firm, showing that she'd been an adventurer. This makes Eleanor think he's had much experience in other female adventurers' bodies. Heh. Her master diverts the conversation to her rank. Fortunately for him, it works, and she shares that she's a C rank. She's also a Saint Force class. This is a class that summons holy beasts to fight for them. Not many adventurers go this path because it uses up a lot of mana. It can be taxing. The reason why Eleanor picked this class, because she thinks the beasts are cute. She's one weird girl. She asks for his adventurer card in return. Yep, he's an S-rank adventurer, a solo one, in fact. Upon knowing this, Eleanor can't help but wonder if he's sure about helping her with her revenge. If her kingdom finds out about this, his reputation will suffer. But Egil doesn't care about that. If they're branded as criminals, they can just leave the kingdom. He then wraps his arms around her. Besides, he fell in love with her the first time he saw her. Refusing her never even crossed his mind. This emotional admission is the perfect backdrop for their first time. They love each other, and they'll show that with their bodies. They have their first time with each other. After the whole ordeal, Egil carries her again, this time to the bath. As they descend the stairs, their thoughts fly to other matters. The adventurer wants to know more about their targets, while the princess wants to know more about pleasing her master. Even if they have different agendas, they come to the same conclusion. They'll both go to the town tomorrow. The next day, Egil approaches Gessendorf in a pub. He wants him to find 3 adventurers, Kurd, Mordred, and Muselina, Eleanor's former friends. They're all C ranks. Their ranks give Gessendorf pause, as only high-ranking adventurers are on his information network's radar. Also, they don't know those 3's hideout. The spy asks for a week to investigate. Egil's fine with that. He needs another thing, though. Introduce him to a servant merchant, specifically one that deals with humans. Gessendorf deduces that he's doing this because of Eleanor. Yes, she has asked him, but he also wants to do it, if only to free her from her nightmares of the past. However, his companion has a suggestion: not to trust servants too much. He's been betrayed by one before, after all. This riles Egil up, who told him that Gessendorf just heard rumors, but he assumes it's true due to Egil's reaction. The adventurer just wants him to focus on the tasks he's given him. As he walks outside the pub, Egil wonders where Eleanor is. He's worried since regular citizens are prejudiced about servants. Eleanor's in the bookstore. She's looking for reading material to help her pleasure Egil better. While she's paying for the books, the storekeeper's gaze unsettles her. She quickly runs away to a secluded alley to read her books. It's about Anna and Hubert going at it in many different ways, positions, and methods. She's treating spicy books as instructional material. Nice. Her imagination takes her to different places, riling her up. There are so many things she can do with her master. Just thinking about it makes her excited. But she soon forgets about that when she hears a shout. It's a man demanding his servant back. She gets a bit closer to get a better view and sees the merchant that had her. The man asking for his servant seems like a noble, and the servant in question, she seems familiar. The girl knows her, too, and calls out to her. It's Selina. The girl tears up as she pleads Eleanor for help. The servant merchant tugs on her chain to stop her from acting up. Eleanor screams for him to stop. Can she talk with her? The servant merchant isn't having any of it. This is not her business. Eleanor threatens to tell Egil about this. Does she think that will scare him? Well, it should. Her master's an S-rank adventurer. He can take him out of this world with ease. He'd better let her talk to Selina, or she'll have to get rough with him. The water swirling in Eleanor's hands drives her point home. Once they're alone, Selina falls to her knees. She's so scared. Eleanor promises to protect her. The princess remembers the strong Selina back when they both weren't bought yet. Eleanor spent so much time crying while Selina did her best to cheer her up. The girl promised to protect her, even at the cost of her own life. Her kindness was what Eleanor held onto to gain strength. This is why she'll do anything to protect her friend. Selina recounts the things she went through because of her master, Count Sebastian. Though the noble looks calm, that demeanor hides a monster underneath. He used Selina as a punching bag every single day. It was so bad that she ran away, but the man wouldn't let her be. Did he do anything else to her? Nope. So, that means she's still untouched. Yep. Eleanor turns to the servant merchant and asks when they'll auction Selina again. Due to paperwork, the soonest time will be in 7 days. Can he promise that he won't lay a hand on her until then? The hooligan hesitates, but he's also clearly afraid of Eleanor's S-ranked master, so he promises when she glares at him. If they get and find out that she lost her V-card, that's a violation of their agreement. The servant merchant is surprised that they're buying Selina, but Eleanor's adamant. She'll save her friend, no matter what. The only reason this merchant's still alive is because of the servant collar. If Eleanor offs him, the collar's safety system will activate. Selina will lose her life. The only way to save her is to buy her. The Count chooses this moment to pipe up. They'll actually steal her for him. Of course, Sebastian's the last person Eleanor wants to be near Selina. He lets her know he quite likes his former servant. That's why he won't back down. He'll get his servant back. Back at home, Eleanor explains the situation to Egil. So she wants him to outbid Count Sebastian and save her friend. Is that why she's barely clothed right now? That's not her intention, but she doesn't have anything else that can serve as compensation for her request. That's true, a servant's request to her master requires payment, but they're not master and servant. Egil loves Eleanor. Does she not love him, too? Eleanor has forgotten that lovers don't need payment to help each other. Teary-eyed, she returns the sentiments and swears to love him and only him forever. Egil covers her with his cape. She doesn't need to wear that. He'll help her with anything. And so, Eleanor, now crying, pleads with her master to save her friend. He promises to do so without hesitation. While eating dinner, the two discuss the upcoming auction for Selina. She's still untouched, so she'll fetch a high price. Aside from that, someone will do his best to outbid them, namely Count Sebastian. At that, Eleanor worries. Is it too much to ask, after all? Egil quickly assures her that she has nothing to worry about. The adventurer goes silent and thinks about their budget. If he has to outbid Sebastian for Selina, his savings won't be enough. He only has 4 million left since he spent much of it to get Eleanor. So, they only have one choice, to go do some quests. Once Eleanor's done cleaning, they'll do just that. The two set off to complete a series of quests. Their tasks: slay 5 goblins, hunt down a ghoul, capture a morphal, take down 5 drakes, and hunt a red dragon. Most adventurers will quake in their boots at such a list, but not Egil. He thinks it's manageable since they have 7 days, as expected from an S-rank adventurer. But enough about that. What did Havalik, the guild receptionist, give Eleanor? Egil saw him hand her something. Well, he gave her some provisions to keep her stamina up. This, of course, gets Havalik in Eleanor's good books. How does that new song go? Night after night, I'll be. Anyway, Egil gets distracted by Eleanor's bouncing melons. They're practically spilling out of her dress. Is she really going to do a quest in that dress? Yep, it'll be fine. Besides, it's her favorite since he gave it to her. Is he so distracted by her wearing that dress that he won't be able to focus on the quest? He tries to deny it, but the thing inside his pants quickly proves him wrong. Since it's Eleanor's fault Egil's having a hard time, she figures she has to take responsibility. She services him right then and there. After that stunt, they'll definitely have a fun time tonight. The talk of their nightly escapades is interrupted by an explosion. Maybe some other adventurers trying to fight a monster. Said adventurers, twins Luna and Sana, seem to have bitten off more than they can chew. The monster they're fighting is a giant. They escape it for now. The twins plan to lure it to a different place later. But Sana notices Egil and Eleanor. She doesn't like that. She won't let them steal their target. She chants Angel Nova, shooting a beam of light straight into the giant's mouth. But it doesn't hurt the monster at all. Luna tries next with a Heaven's Rain, letting a rain of light arrows on the giant. Egil sees this and knows it won't work on the monster a glance at all. And he's right, all the twins' attacks do is annoy the glaciant. It brings down a fist on them, but the twins, fortunately, get away in time. Still in his horse, Egil takes them before the glaciant can attack again. Meanwhile, Eleanor summons a light Fenrir to attack the glaciant. This weakens her, though, since she's forgotten to control her mana consumption. The glaciant is unaffected by her attack, too. Oh no, the monster is coming closer. Egil soon arrives, but he won't reach her in time. So he uses Eternal Sword. Lots of blades suddenly sprout from the ground, impaling the glaciant's feet and legs. Eleanor is in awe. This is her master's true power. He's so strong. He can use the sword Genesis. The princess is unscathed and is singing her master praises. He just has lots of swords stored in another dimension, and he defeated the glaciant so easily. Egil explains that sword Genesis is something only those who mastered the sword can use. So now, he questions the twins, but they're not answering, so he gets a bit glary. Eleanor comes to the rescue and reassures the girls Egil's a lot kinder than he looks. Finally, they answer. They're E-rank adventurers, the lowest rank. Egil thinks they're reckless, but they need to prove themselves. They have to get strong, so he offers to show them how to fight. But the twins think he's shady. He looks like he'll just swindle their money. Not that they have any money on them. Sana scares Luna. He will sell them to a merchant if they don't pay. Eleanor interrupts their conversation. Egil won't do that. How does she know that? She shows the twins her collar. Yes, she's a servant, but Egil treats her as an equal. He doesn't ask for anything in return. This convinces the twins. Bowing low, they ask Egil to train them. The adventurer, on the other hand, is shocked. How did Eleanor do it? They soon set up camp. They have some barbecue for dinner. Ooh, yum. Sana definitely thinks so since she's eating so many. Luna is a bit embarrassed by her twin sister. Egil's amused. They're so much alike, even if Sana's a priest and Luna's a mana archer. Anyway, if the twins help them with their quest, Egil will teach them how to fight. Speaking of quests, he noticed that they didn't take their part in the reward. But the twins don't care about that, they just want to get stronger. The twins fall asleep quickly after dinner. He thinks that they're depriving themselves of food and sleep while trying to get stronger. But why would they do that? For an objective that can be done if you're strong. God knows what the twins' goal is, though. Eleanor's astonished at their maturity. Unlike them, she has to ask for help to achieve her goals. However, Egil wants to be more like her. They have a bit of a romantic moment. Eleanor goes for a smooch, but he stops her. The twins are in the other room. They go to bed without doing anything. But Egil can't stand avoiding his princess's advances anymore. Ooh, whatever Eleanor has put in his coffee worked. You sly girl. But even though he's riled up, Egil makes her promise she'll be quiet. She can't assure that. The two go at it multiple times that night, and they are loud, very loud, and also completely unaware of their audience. Sana is woken up by their noise. Curious and amazed, she watches them as they do the deed. She can't look away. Sana, close your mouth. Flies might come in. Egil and Eleanor have found each other in the most unlikely place, a servant auction. But that doesn't stop them from falling head over heels for each other. Just look at them go. Not even having people around can stop them. For sure, though, Eleanor won't be the last of Egil's women, because just look at how Sana's looking at them.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.